Hey, you're in my kitchen. But don't worry, this isn't a cooking show. Well, it is kind of a cooking show. It's a cooking show for chickens. In case you have no idea who I am, I'm Bev from the podcast We Drink and We Farm Things, and I'm over on the Instagram over at Ross Roost Farm. And today we're going to make donuts for chickens using Grubblies. That's right, Grubblies. Now we're going to make this real simple here. The only thing we're going to use is Grubblies and some bacon grease in a donut pan. And you've got to warm up the bacon grease a little bit. And that's because right now, it's not really in a good state to make donuts. And can you use something besides bacon grease? Absolutely. And quite frankly, I actually don't recommend that you feed your chickens too much bacon grease. Our chickens are pretty bougie. They're in good shape, they're not starving or anything, so they really don't need that much fat. But during the winter, it's totally fine to give them just a little bit. So I'm gonna make a whole dozen donuts for them, but I only have 15 chickens. So I'm gonna hold back and maybe only give like 2 or 3 of the donuts a week. That way I don't overdo it on the bacon grease. You can probably use coconut oil or anything else you happen to have on hand to bind them together. There's all sorts of great chicken recipes out there, but bacon grease is what I have on hand, so that's what I'm gonna use. Okay, so we have microwaved our bacon grease. That way it is the right consistency to fill our donuts all up with. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of grease and I'm gonna put some into each of the donut compartments. There we go. All of our donut compartments are filled with the bacon grease. And then we're going to take our Grubblies and we're going to fill all of these compartments with the Grubblies and make sure that we press them down into the bacon grease. All right, all of our donut spots are filled with Grubblies, and then I re-warmed up the bacon grease for another 10 seconds just to melt it again. And now I'm gonna pour it on top of each of the donuts just to kind of seal in the Grubblies. All right, trays are all filled with the bacon grease and Grubblies. So I'm going to top a few of these off just a little bit because you can see that there's some spots where there's a little more bacon grease than there is Grubblies. And the Grubblies is the good stuff. That's what we really want them to get. All right, they're ready. So now we're going to pop them in the freezer and let them harden. They'll go great with my bags of frozen avocados. There we go. Make sure they're flat. They're not going to run into anything. All right, it's time to see if our donuts are done. They're looking pretty good. They are a little tricky to get out, but you just use a butter knife and run it around the edge. And they pop out. Oh, that one got back in there, but let's see. And there you have it. A perfect Grubblies donut. Ooh, and that one has a little extra sprinkle on it. So what do you guys think of your Grubblies donuts? Well, you're a fan, huh, Stuart? Well, I think it's safe to say that the Grubblies Donuts got all of the beaks and feathers up. And if you want to order your own package of Grubblies to make some Grubblies Donuts with, just go to grubbliefarms.com and use code FARM15 at checkout and you'll save 15% off your first order.